Hello and welcome back to Big Nostalgia, the podcast where we look at the games from our childhood, where they came from, the story of their development, and the story within the game itself. We then talk about the audio and visual design and if we like it. Does it hold up? We also discuss a game's legacy. Is it well remembered? Did it spawn a million sequels? Or is it an obscure title that we don't hear much about anymore? I'm Phil.
I'm Vicky.
And today we are looking at the birth of an icon. He might be pink in the future, but he's white for some reason this time. We're going to be talking about Kirby, and I'll hand over to Vicky to take us away.
Kirby's Dreamland, and yes, I do know why he's white now. But let's get started with Kirby's Dreamland was released on the Game Boy in North America. It was August the 1st, 1992 in Japan. April the 27th, 1992, and dear old England, it was around about the same time as America. It was August the 3rd, 1992. The Nintendo Switch Online also had it in 2023. The developers was HAL Laboratory, publishers obviously Nintendo, with producers Makito Kani, designer Mashiro Sakura, and composer Jun Izukawa.
It's Masahiro Sakurai, because he's the Smash Bros. Guy.
Masahiro Sakurai. Yeah, well, that guy, he is a very cool guy, because he was the main guy involved in Kirby. But Kirby's Dreamland is the first game in the Kirby series, and marks the debut of our favourite pink fluffy character, Kirby. It's introduced many conventions that would appear in later games in the series. It was a game designer, Sakurai. He was only 19 years old at the time, debut game with Nintendo. He intended it to be a simple game that could be easily picked up and played by those unfamiliar with action games. Very much the concept of Nintendo's core beliefs. You can play it from 5 to 50. For more advanced players, he offered additional optional challenges such as hard mode and the ability to edit Kirby's maximum HP and starting number of lives. Kirby's Dreamland was developed by Sakurai from HAL Laboratories. Much of the programming was done at Twin Famicom, a Nintendo licensed console producer by Sharp Corporation that combined Famicom and Famicom Disk System into one unit. As the Twin Famicom did not have a keyboard support, a trackball was used to tandem with an on-screen keyboard to input values. Sakurai described the process, which he assumed was the way gaming programs was done at the time, as similar to using a lunchbox to make lunch. So that must have been really... that must have been really terrible.
That sounds hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like programming something on a typewriter.
Yeah. Kirby was initially created as a dummy character that the developers used until they could define a more sophisticated image. However, the designers grew to like Kirby so much that they decided to keep him instead of using a more advanced character. At the time, he was to be named Popopopo. P-O-P-O-P-O. Popopo. And the game was... Popopopo. And the game was to be named Popopo of the Spring Breeze. The title was later changed to Twinkle Popo, which was still being used late enough in development that box art and advertising materials was produced with this name.
Wow.
Now, I think we both know, and it's in my quirks, where the name Kirby came from.
It was one of the Nintendo execs, wasn't it?
Nope. So, when the city of New York sued Nintendo for the use of Donkey Kong, similar to King Kong, there was a lawyer involved in the case who helped win them the case. Jack Kirby.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
Yeah, and they were so pleased with his work and obviously what he did for the company that they celebrated him by putting his name into a character, which happened to be this one.
Did you? I'm not sure if you got in your notes how Laboratory got its name, like the developer.
No.
I don't know if we've discussed this in an episode before. I'm getting deja vu. Maybe we did. But HAL Labs gets its name because HAL is one better than IBM.
Boo.
Because obviously I to H, B to A, M to L.
Boo. Oh, they're such nerds. I love it.
They are nerds.
Originally, HAL Laboratory was to publish the game independently, but due to a low number of advance orders, the release was delayed, and HAL asked Nintendo to publish the game. Under Nintendo's supervision, the game received an intensive marketing campaign, and its title was changed. In order to give the character more international appeal, the developers decided to change Popo's name, so they pulled Nintendo's America for suggestions, and eventually chose Kirby. For the reasons we've said. The final Japanese title of the game was Hoshi no Kirby, or Kirby of the Star, which became the name of the greater franchise.
Wow.
During the development of what was referred to as Twinkle Popo, there was some initial confusions over the colour system of Popo/Kirby. Sakurai has always intended him to be pink, and the concept art reflects this. However, Kirby was not pink in the game itself, as the Game Boy system had a monochrome display. Other members of the development team were unaware of Kirby's coloration. In particular, Shigeru Miyamoto initially thought that he was yellow. Although pink is still Kirby's main colour, later games have used yellow Kirby's nickname Kibi to represent the second player in multiplayer, starting in Kirby's Dream Course in 1994.
And that's the alt costume on Smash, isn't it? Like the first alternative.
It is indeed. So the main reason Kirby wasn't pink in this, and the box art represents this, is because the Game Boy had no colour. So it was white. Whereas the colour was always meant to be pink. And as we know, the Kirby's now come in a range of different colours. But yellow is always the first start-in secondary on the colour differentiation for Kirby because of Shigeru Miyamoto.
Wow.
Yeah. When Kirby of the Stars was released in Japan, it featured a pink Kirby on its box. However, Nintendo of America designed the North American box art and advertisements with the white Kirby based on the game grayscale visuals to represent what represents what you'd get in the game. Because if you're seeing a pink Kirby on your box and then you play the game and he's not pink, you're thinking, huh? So, literally in that definition, like, huh?
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 Maybe you shake your fist a little. Eh?
You only shake your fist if someone's on your lawn. Get off my lawn. So the plot. Kirby's Dreamland is set in Dreamland, which is located on a tiny star-shaped planet far, far away from Earth, named Planet Popstar in later games. The Dreamlanders are very peaceful and carefree people that use their magical sparkling stars to play and work among the heavens. But one night, under the cover of darkness, the gluttonous King Dedede and his minions swoop down from his castle on Mount Dedede and steal all the food in Dreamland, as well as the sparkling stars, which the king distributes among his minions. Without the sparkling stars, the Dreamlanders can no longer harvest food and begin to go hungry. As the residents are discussing what to do, a spry little boy named Kirby flies in on the spring breeze and volunteers to defeat King Dedede and retrieve the food and the stars. Upon successfully doing so, he uses the magic of the sparkling stars to transform into a hot air balloon and return the king's stolen food back to the people of Dreamland. Ain't that cute?
That's very cute.
It's very cute. Out of all the starter sort of stories for these games, like, it just sounds adorable.
Well, it's kind of like the Kirby and Donkey Kong kind of route of like evil guy stole all of our food, because with the DK it's always the bananas, isn't it?
Yeah.
Kirby, it's just like, you stole my food. There doesn't need to be any like person in danger. It's like, you stole my food, I'm going to get it back.
I swear it's either someone's in danger, normally like, you know, partner, someone's asleep, or there's food. Those are your three tropes for Nintendo. Like, oh, unless you're Wario and then you're just bored.
Well, Wario, it's usually either he wants to rob somebody or somebody has robbed him, so therefore he wants to go rob them back. It's usually just greed for money, isn't it?
Yeah. So Kirby's Dream Land operates similarly to other platforms during the 8-bit and 16-bit era of video games. Kirby must head towards a goal at the end of each level while jumping over obstacles and defeating enemies. Kirby can also fly but cannot leave the screen through doing so. Now, while researching this, I played the game. I played the first level. It's very interesting because the easiest way to defeat enemies is just to swallow everything and shoot it back at them. And the flying, originally I didn't think I could fly, but you actually just, so you either suck in enemies or you suck in air, and if you suck in air, you fly. Which is lovely. I think that's such a simple concept.
But you can still, I think you can still use like the air from your flying to like attack enemies.
To attack, but then you don't fly anymore. So if you're up in the air and you do that, then of course you fall.
Yeah.
But I still think that's such a simple concept. Like, breathe in, off I go. Like, it was a lot of fun to play.
Yeah,
even just the first level.
The one bit is strange about playing the original back again is the lack of copy ability, which is not something that gets introduced in the first game. And nowadays, it's like crazy to think of Kirby without the ability to steal the abilities of what he eats. But in this, it's literally just eat, spit, fly, fly, fly.
So for me, Kirby's ability to steal powers is kind of like Eevee from the Pokemon series. You started off with just Eevee and like 3 ways of evolving it. And now these days, I mean, there's the 6 that you can do, but so many people have done fan art into all the different ways you could evolve Eevee. Like, same with Kirby. Kirby never intended to steal anyone's powers, but as soon as it did, then, whose powers can't it steal? Let's steal everyone's powers. Like,
I'm sure if you just check, there is probably fan art of Kirby stealing lots of powers of different things.
Yeah, absolutely. So Kirby's main technique is his ability to inhale his opponents and items. When Kirby inhales an enemy or an object, it remains in his mouth. At this point, Kirby can either spit it out as a projectile in the form of a star that causes damage to anything in its path, or simply swallow it and defeat it altogether. When food is inhaled, it is swallowed right away and will heal Kirby if he is damaged. The concept of flying and eating in a platformer game was new at this time. Unlike feature games, Kirby does not gain new powers upon swallowing enemies, what we've already touched on. However, spicy curry and mint leaves can be found throughout the game, allowing Kirby to spit fireballs and air puffs, respectively, for a short time. Kirby can also occasionally find bomb and mic items, a form of which can damage enemies in front of Kirby when exhaled, and the latter which damages all enemies on screen when exhaled.
I forget spicy curry comes from Kirby, because I just know it from Smash Bros.
So, even though it wasn't really like a thing in the series, it was something that even in the very first connotation of Kirby, they're still going to explore that concept of him gaining powers through his exhale. Inhale and exhale. If the player presses up, A, and select buttons at the title screen, the extra game becomes available. The extra game has exactly the same story and levels as the main game, but enemies and bosses have become more powerful, and alternative enemies are in place instead of some of the basic enemies. I think this was a nice way of doing that multiple ability sort of thing. As we said, the developer wanted it to be a game that anyone could pick up, but at the same time Nintendo has always been aware that they can't dumb it down too much for the avid gamer who's very good. They still need that challenge, and I think that has become a premise of their 5 to 50 playable, like anyone can play it. They've always made sure that there is easy and hard. Like, they've never, like, Nintendo does get a bit of a stick for being like based for children and like childish, but I do think if some PlayStationers and Xbox like elites gave it a bit more of a try, they would struggle on the hard levels. Like, it's not easy.
Yeah.
So on the main title screen, if the down and B and select buttons are pressed on the title screen, configuration mode can be accessed, allowing the players to choose how much vitality and lives Kirby will start when the game begins, or to listen to the game's music and sound effects. So again, another way that you could do the easier level, but with only one life. You can make it nice and challenging.
And that's such a Sakurai thing as well, with like how much you can tweak with the settings in Smash Bros and things like that. Like, he's very much into the fiddly bits. So the fact that in such an early game there was already like a hidden menu for you to essentially set up a one-hit run or listen to the music or things like that. Like, those were still not hugely common, I don't think.
I was going to say that's quite a modern concept in games, isn't it?
Like, they have the whole one-hit run, or like
Yeah.
one life runs. Yeah.
And the fact he was already exploring it in such an early game is pretty impressive. And the fact that unless you were a hardcore gamer, you wouldn't been able to find it. Like, it wasn't, like, really obvious.
Yeah.
So, moving on to characters. Obviously, the playable character is Kirby. There's a bunch of enemies. I can name a few from Benny, Blatzy, Blipper, Blooper, Dizzy, Chucky, not the doll, Poppy, Bro Jr., Puffy, Scarfy.
So funny, some of these names that you can tell they clearly made up afterwards. They're like, what's this guy's name? I don't know, Chucky. I don't know.
Waddle Doo, Waddle Dee, Tookie, Twizzy, Two-Face.
Waddle Doos and Waddle Dees have stayed like quite big in Kirby, I think, haven't they?
They have, yeah.
They're DDD's minions.
Like his right-hand men. Mid bosses, you've got Poppy Bro Sir, Lolololo, which is Lo, Krakow Jr.
Okay.
I love these names. And then bosses, you got Whispery Woods, which when I defeated it, when I played the first level, like, it wasn't hard, but it was harder than I thought it was going to be. I did die. I didn't defeat it first time round.
I had the same. Yeah.
Yeah. Then you got Lolo and Lala, Kabula, Krakow, which I'm guessing is Krakow Jr.'s dad, and then King DDD. He got his crack from his dad's side. But yeah, those are the characters. I mean, none of them are that memorable outside of Kirby and King DDD, personally.
I think the wispy words, like, I think more just because it keeps appearing, I think. Like, it appears in later Kirby games. It is often
Smash
in all
games.
Yes, in the background of the Smash games, and it kind of controls the wind. But yeah, and like the Waddle Dees and Waddle Doos and stuff are always with DDD as his minions.
Absolutely. So, music. Music was composed by Jun Ishiraka. He has regularly been the composer for the Kirby series. Certain songs were also reused in Super Smash Bros. Series as a background music for Dreamland stage in Super Smash Bros. And the Green stage in Super Smash Bros. Melee. I really, when I was playing it, I don't mind the music. It fitted the environment. It was quite repetitive, but it's quite bouncy.
Yeah, it fits Kirby.
Yeah, if you think Kirby's basically a big old marshmallow who sucks in things, like, it felt very much, it wasn't too, like, heroic. It was more quirky. It was more cute.
It was whimsical, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I think is very much a Kirby concept.
Like, the victory theme from the first game is still like the victory theme, I think, throughout, which is like the... It's like very whimsical, very upbeat.
You know that dance? He does it in Kirby's Dreamland. Like,
yeah.
It has been a thing since Kirby was invented. That's not just something that's come along. That has always been a Kirby staple, is that he does that dance. Maybe not to that tune, but he does that dance. When I defeated the Woods boss, I was like, hey, he did that from the beginning.
He's danced for longer than he's stolen his enemy's abilities.
Exactly. Longer than he's been pink.
Yeah.
Moving on to quirks. The first two quirks I have here are about Kirby's colour system, and obviously the name Kirby, how it came about, obviously coming from John Kirby, who defended Nintendo in their law case. The name Kirby can actually be from an English surname that was originally from a place meaning church settlement in Old Norse. This name briefly spiked in popularity also in American Girls in 1982, after a character, Kirby Anderson Colby, was introduced on the soap Dynasty. Another quirk: if the player pauses the game and waits 20 seconds, Kirby will begin dancing. After the dance is over, he will return to his original position and remain idle until the game is unpaused. So he can't even resist
Kirby's
dancing.
Bored, waiting for you to go to the toilet or whatever.
Yeah, I'm just gonna like break dance or whatever. Like Kirby can't resist being Kirby even when you're on pause. Like, yeah.
That must be weird the first time it happens because you're like, I swear I paused it.
Why is he moving? In the extra game credits showing the name of enemies, some of the names are absent, misplaced, or misspelled. So whoever did the extra game bit didn't really put much effort into it.
That's early localization for you on some games, isn't it? Unfortunately.
Yeah. Another thing was Kirby's Dream Land was incorrectly spelled as Kirby's Dreamland. As in, Dreamland wasn't two separate words, it was one word together on Club Nintendo's website.
Oh.
Not a big spelling error. Like, I thought it was going to be like Dream Club or whatever. Like, yeah.
Or like Kirby Dreams Land. Like the game's about Kirby dreaming about a land.
Yeah. Despite King Dedede's frequent appearances as the antagonist in the series, often portrayed as Kirby's arch nemesis, Kirby's Dream Land is the only main series title in which King Dedede is actually the real main antagonist and final boss.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So they didn't even stick with it for a second game. They were like, you fought him already.
But at the same time, they liked him so much as a baddie and an overall villain that they kept him along. He just wasn't the main dude anymore.
I'm not familiar with the Kirby series as a whole, but from what I understand, like, Dedede's just more of like a little stinker than an actual villain. Like, he's more just annoying to Kirby, and they just tend to just like, it's more of just they annoy each other rather than an actual hatred or like, you know, arch rivals fight to the death.
I suppose if you think of the other Nintendo franchise, you've got Mario and Bowser, you've got Link and Ganon. Maybe they didn't want to go down those tropes.
Yeah, it's fun to try different dynamics, isn't it? And also, Kirby's not like a game where you can seriously buy that Kirby seriously hates somebody. Like, he's so happy.
No, he's so happy and he's so cute that it's quite nice that he's got a different baddie every time, because he just seems like someone who just goes along with it. He's like, okay, that guy sucks, let's go and get our food back. Like, okay, that guy sucks, he's stolen our stars, let's go. Like, cool. Not like Link and Mario there, like, tattooing Ganon and Bowser's names into their skin, like, I will get vengeance. He's like, I'm hungry, who's got the food? That guy, let's go.
Yeah.
So Kirby's Dream Land and Kirby and the Rainbow Curse are the only platformers in the series that are devoid of ice stages. In the music room in Kirby and the Rainbow Curse, Kirby's Dream Land is represented by a black and white image of Kirby riding the Warp Star. This is the only game in the entire Kirby series to not feature save of any sort, although the code is used to unlock extra games and config are saved once they are unlocked.
Oh, okay.
That's so annoying. But it's not a very long game. It's only 5 levels.
Yeah, I think you can beat it in less than an hour, so I don't think it's the end of the world.
It's not the end of the world, but still, I do think it's a bit silly when you don't add save points.
Yeah.
Legacy! In Japan, Hoshi no Kirby topped the Fatsumu sale charts from May 1992 to June 1992. In the United States, Kirby's Dream Land topped Baggage's Game Boy sale charts in October 1992. The game sold more than 1 million units worldwide by March 1993. Kirby's Dream Land has received a generally positive reception. Upon release, Nintendo Power editors George and Bob shared generally positive opinions of the game. George stated that it is a really fun game owing to its qualities to the excellent player controls and well thought out concept, while Bob stated that it is deceptively simple looking when in fact features are a decent challenge for more experienced gamers. In the Super Power Club bonus supplement in Nintendo Power V44, the game was ranked 8th in the top 10 Game Boy games of 1992. I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. As for sequels, Kirby's Dream Land has spawned a numerous amount of sequels across several video game consoles. The first direct sequel, Kirby's Adventure, released on the Nintendo Entertainment System, introducing the ability to steal powers from enemies, an ability which would become a staple of the series following it. The series has featured several spin-offs in different genres, including racing games, Kirby Air Ride, pinball games, Kirby's Pinball Land, an action golf hybrid, Kirby's Dream Course, Kirby's Dream Land would receive a Game Boy sequel in 1995, Kirby's Dream Land 2, which incorporated a copy mechanic from Kirby's Adventure. Can you imagine? Like golf, pinball, and a racing game. I mean, Kirby as well, they have become playable in like Super Smash Brothers. Kirby has become such a staple for the Nintendo franchise and has got so many of its own games. Like, to think that the design was just like a stand-in, and they were just like, yeah, this shape will do. You can tell by the design. It's very simple design. I can understand why that was a stand-in, but they were just like, hey, that's actually pretty cute. I like that ball with eyes.
I told you not to name it. I'm getting attached.
Po, or lulu. Just, yeah. I think Kirby's Dream Land as a game that I've played, I've really enjoyed. It had nice music, had easy gameplay, and a lovely sort of environment, considering it was on black and white on the Game Boy. I think Kirby as a character, considering that this was its first main game and its roots, it's very understandable, it's simple design, and I love how well Kirby is fitted into the Nintendo family. Like, he's just like kind of a little bit of a food-loving, cute baby brother, isn't it? Like, no one takes him too seriously, but he doesn't need to be taken seriously. Like, and he's still powerful in his own right, but like when he takes other people's powers. But I don't know. I just really like him as a character. I always enjoy playing him as on Super Smash Brothers.
How do you think John Kirby reacted to the news? Like,
what? A couple of months or however long later, they're like, hey, you know how you helped us with this law case? Here's your character, and presented him with this game. I mean, the first version wasn't pink. He was, but he wasn't. Like, I don't know. I think it'd be very cool. It'd be a very cool way of being remembered. Is to have a very famous character named after you. Like Mr. Mario, or like his name will always be remembered through Nintendo, and Nintendo is a ongoing global phenomenon of a console creator. So yeah, and it's better than being like, I don't know, who's part of the Nintendo family, but like down the line, like, oh yay, I was Mr. Goomba, I helped clean the, I don't know, I was the janitor. Now I'm named after all the bad guys. Like, meh. Like, at least he's a main character.
Yeah, well, I was just imagining, like, oh, we've named a character after you. It's like, oh, cool, do you make some kind of lawyer game about, like, being a lawyer? And it's like, no, you're this little guy, and you just like to eat. And you're like, okay, I don't think that's anything to do with me, really, but I'm very touched.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good point. What do you think of Kirby's Dream Land?
I think it's fun. I think it's like, what, less than an hour long. It's like an interesting, like, piece of gaming history, I think. Because I think Kirby has evolved so much more from that first appearance. But it's like, the fun thing about when we look at like these, especially these first appearance of characters, is just how many series things are established. And I think it's just such a whimsical game, and that whimsy carries into every Kirby game. Like, no matter what genre or no matter what mini games there are, because obviously, like, things like Superstar has like a bunch of mini games in it. Like, Kirby is always like, you know, you're going to have just a very innocent, light-hearted time. Even in, like, the most recent one where he eats an entire car or whatever. And it's a bit body horror-ish.
It does feel like he can get away with that.
Yeah, if it's not... Yeah, Kirby's the only one that can get away with it. Like, everyone found it a little bit creepy when Mario was taking over people's minds with his hat in Odyssey. And then Kirby's like, hold my beer, and just eats a car.
And people are like, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, Kirby.
It's Kirby, isn't it? It's Kirby.
Kirby copies. It's the natural evolution of copying abilities, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think Kirby's a great character.
If you think about Pokemon again, but as in Ditto, that's basically a deflated Kirby.
Yeah.
Both pink, both with little dots for eyes, both have the ability to take on forms of someone else, but Kirby, it's normally the hairstyle, whereas obviously Ditto is the full body.
Yeah, it's true.
There is a lot of characters like that within certain... a lot of TV series, gaming series, that is a copying technique. And it makes sense if you think about Kirby was just supposed to be a stand-in.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
From stand-in to star.
Yeah, it's like a modern game being made. You play as the guy in the mocap suit.
Well, this has been Kirby's Dreamland. Thank you very much for joining us. Please leave below any comments you have on Kirby's Dreamland, what you liked most, what you didn't like most. If there's any more quirks or anything that I missed out, I'm always happy to hear what you guys have to say about it. So please put anything in the comments below.
Next, we are rejoined by Nick, and we'll be taking a look at the first ever Mario remake in Super Mario Bros. Deluxe, and looking at how this Game Boy Color game kind of launched a flurry of Mario remakes on the Game Boy Advance. So join us then, because it's going to be an interesting one again. But obviously we've got the whole series so far available on our YouTube channel, and our previous seasons as well, which have covered things such as N64, GameCube and Wii games.
Check it out.
I've been Phil.
I've been Vicky. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you again.
See you again.
Bye.
Bye.